Because of your efforts, we are now ready to progress to the next phase. Phase 3 will begin in 2 weeks' time, on the 28th of December. So we will end the year with some good news.
This is the Straits Times Newsnight. I'm Chao Suen.
I'm Dylan Ang. Thanks for joining us. Ending the year with some good news indeed, and here are the 5 things you need to know about Phase 3, which will start on December 28th.
The most significant change, 8 people will be allowed to meet up, dine out or visit someone's home. That's up from the current limit of 5. But a word of caution, PM Lee said that everyone will still need to keep their guard up.
This is absolutely not the time to relax and let our guard down, or to hold a big party imagining that the problem has disappeared. Progressing from Phase 2 to Phase 3 is a calibrated, careful move. We are easing the restrictions in a controlled way so that we can keep the COVID-19 situation stable and take more steps forward later.
The second thing you need to know is that Phase 3 may last quite a while, possibly a year or more, as the virus is most likely still circulating silently within the community. So we've all got to play our part and stay vigilant.
The other big news of the day is that COVID-19 vaccinations will be free for all Singaporeans and long-term residents. And Singapore has approved the use of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine.
The first shipment should get here by the end of this month, and other vaccines are expected to follow suit, and there will be enough vaccines for everyone who wants it by the 3rd quarter next year.
The Ministry of Health recommends that the entire adult population aged 16 and above should be vaccinated, but vaccinations will be voluntary. PM Lee urges everyone to get it.
So I strongly encourage you to get vaccinated too when the vaccine is offered to you. Because when you get yourself vaccinated, you're not just protecting yourself, you're also doing your part to protect others, especially your loved ones.
And first priority will be given those at greatest risk, healthcare workers and frontline personnel, as well as the elderly and vulnerable. PM Lee also stressed that in order to show Singaporeans that the government trusts that the vaccines are safe, he and his colleagues in Cabinet, including the older ones, will be getting vaccinated early.
And Singapore has made significant investment into securing vaccines early, setting aside more than $1 billion to sign advance purchase agreements and make early down payments for the most promising vaccine candidates, including with Pfizer-BioNTech, Moderna and Sinovac.
We made arrangements with pharmaceutical companies to facilitate their clinical trials and drug development in Singapore, and attracted a few to establish vaccine manufacturing capabilities here. This gave our own scientists and researchers the opportunity to do cutting-edge work. It was also insurance in case the global supply chain was disrupted. This way, we built up a diversified portfolio of options to ensure that Singapore would be near the front of the queue for vaccines and not last in line.
Vaccines are also key to supporting Singapore's economic recovery. Professor Teo Yik Yin, Dean of Salisbury Hawke School of Public Health at the National University of Singapore, told the Straits Times, it means we can all look forward to resuming more normal lives.
What I do think is very important for us to focus on is actually the announcement on the plans to roll out the COVID-19 vaccines, because this is going to be one of the most important measures that will resolutely bring Singapore out of the many restrictions that still exist today, including some of the restrictions on overseas travel and that magical number 8 in social gatherings. Vaccination, aiming for as high an uptake as possible, how it will initially be prioritized, and the fact that it will be free for everyone in Singapore. I think it's very clear. Ideally, we want a return to pre-COVID normalcy, and the successful rollout and mass uptake of the vaccine will be a very powerful tool in allowing us to achieve that.
You know, Suen, Singapore has of course come a long way since its first case. A 66-year-old man from Wuhan was confirmed on January 23rd. Remember scenes like this in early February? So many people went on a panic buying spree, stocking up on rice, instant noodles, toilet paper and other essentials, as the Ministry of Health raised the DORSCON level from yellow to orange.
2 months after that, on April 7th, life as we knew it came to a standstill when the circuit breaker kicked in. These shots of Singapore under shutdown are remarkable scenes we never thought we'd ever see, showing a city of space and quiet. That lasted for 2 months until June 1st. June was a breakthrough month. Phase 1 quickly turned into Phase 2 on June 19th, when dining in was once again permitted and households could receive up to 5 visitors. Some facilities also reopened.
A lot has changed since March and April, when cases peaked at over 1,000 a day. Now, on most days, there are 0 locally transmitted infections. And indeed, all 5 new cases announced today were imported ones who have been placed on stay-home notice on arrival here. There were no cases in the community or from workers' dormitories. Let's take a look at some other stories trending on social media right now. Google services are down in Singapore and many other countries. Users are reporting error messages for Gmail, Google Drive and YouTube. Only Google's search function appears to be working at this time.
Phase 2 of the Thomson East Coast MRT line will be delayed by another 6 months to the 3rd quarter of 2021. The Land Transport Authority said that other major infrastructure projects like the North-South Corridor will also be delayed by up to a year, mostly due to COVID-19 related reasons.
Tributes are pouring in for former Liverpool manager Gerard Houllier, who died today after a long history of medical problems. He was 73. The club said the thoughts of everyone at Liverpool FC are with Gerard's family and many friends. Jamie Carragher, who won multiple trophies under the Frenchman, said he's devastated and Houllier will always be the boss in his eyes.
In the Champions League draw for the last 16, one fixture stands out: Barcelona versus Paris Saint-Germain. It means that we'll be seeing former teammates Messi and Neymar on the same pitch at the end of February. Tantalizing. Elsewhere, Mönchengladbach take on Man City, Atletico is up against Chelsea, and Leipzig will face Liverpool. The Europa League draw has also thrown up some fascinating ties. 5 English clubs are in the last 32. Premier League leaders Spurs will take on Austrian club Wolfsberger, and Man United take on La Liga leaders Real Sociedad.
So much football, but over in local sports, 17-year-old Roy Ng has made headlines again for rewriting the under-18 national javelin record, his second record-breaking achievement in 2 weeks. The Raffles Institution student's 61.79-meter throw beat the previous mark of 59.76 set by Wang Tingjia in 2017. If you recall, Roy had also recently set a national under-20 mark of 57.19 meters on November 29th. Keep it coming, Roy.
And before we go, looking for a twist to the typical staycation? Calling all animal lovers out there, here's a chance to spend more time with your favorite underwater creatures. Wildlife Reserve Singapore has unveiled Glamping with the Manatees, a 2-day, 1-night intimate sleepover experience at River Safari's tranquil Amazon flooded forest. For $699 per tent of up to 4 people, visitors will experience guided tours and exclusive animal interactions from December 21st to 28th. So creative. I love the fact that all these unique new staycations are coming up.
For sure, you know, just like the glamping experience in Jewel, for example. But okay, if staycays aren't your thing, fret not, see the Singapore Zoo in a new light. Visiting the zoo won't be the same again with Zoo Declassified, a guided tour by local travel company Experience Singapore. Instead of just seeing the animals on display, why not discover more facts about creatures like the white rhino and zebra? Tickets cost $35 for adults and $30 for children. And if you were wondering, yes, you can use your Singapore Rediscovers vouchers to offset the cost of the tour, which is separate from the zoo admission itself.
And that wraps up the Straits Times Newsnight. Do visit straitstimes.com to see more news and videos.
You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel by hitting the button below. Have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow.